Bonnie, thank you, with the music ministry, and Shelley today, and others as well. I understand that the Unity congregation here is a pretty advanced congregation, so it's really nice to be with all of you, and certainly with your music and the slides and your affirmations. I will certainly attest to the fact that the foundation that I've heard about your group certainly seems to be true, and let's allow that to be the basis for the talk that I would like to give. Let me begin with just kind of a cute little story that's just kind of fun. Perhaps some of you have heard about the swallows of Capistrano. Every March 19th, a group of swallows fly back to Capistrano. And the people gather there at the little missionary monastic ruin there, and they wait for the swallows to fly back. None of the people really know why the swallows fly to Capistrano every March 19th. They just do. And the people gather there to watch them. Well, this last March 19th, when the swallows were returning, a younger swallow, making his first Capistrano flight, said to an older one, "Why, every March 19th, do we fly back to Capistrano?" The older swallow said, "Well, every March 19th, we fly back to Capistrano to watch all of the people who gather there. We don't know why they gather there. They just do. And we go to watch them." It's a cute little story. The moral was quite clear. There's just always another way of seeing things. And certainly as we advance in the lifestyle of awareness, we are a group of people who see things a little differently. We have made the shift from seeing ourselves as limited humans to now truly knowing that we are eternal, mighty souls. And in addition, we are really living this way. And this is especially exciting in that we are joining with others as a unity of souls, not just a nice group of people, but rather a unity of souls who are also living this way every day. We have reason to be excited, and we are. The movement of conscious evolution is rapidly expanding on the planet. The excitement of our growth is the basis of today's teaching entitled Playing Bigger. Let's begin. For the past several years, many of us have been inspired by the words of Marianne Williamson and many other spiritual teachers, encouraging us to play big, to move beyond limited behaviors of thinking and acting, which no longer serve us and keep us bound to the everyday dramas of life. Many of us have taken these inspirational words of playing big and have done precisely that. Or perhaps putting it better, we have stopped playing small. We no longer have to win. We no longer have to control things. We no longer are sarcastic or biting in our comments. We no longer whine or complain. We no longer whine or complain. We no longer whine or complain. We no longer desire superficial things or pleasures. We no longer need to fit in. We no longer judge or criticize. We would rather be kind than right. Playing small just doesn't work for us anymore. We want something bigger. In the words of Jesus, while we are still in the world, we are no longer of the world. We have overcome the world. Or as the Course in Miracles says, we have overcome the need and the desire for special relationships. We no longer need or want to fulfill ourselves with people or things that are outside of us. We want something more within. We are seekers who have found. We are seekers who have found, and we're ready to be co-creators of the future. We know who we are, that we are eternal souls manifesting in this human instrument. We know why we are here, that each of us is to manifest our specific gifts, and all of us together are to evolve ourselves, our species, the planet, and the universe. And we are living this way. We are now playing bigger. So what I would like to address today are the 4 qualities that people who are playing bigger manifest, or what seekers who have found are now doing. Allow them both to be a barometer, perhaps of maybe where you are in your personal growth, as well as an invitation to extend yourself perhaps a little further. The first quality of playing bigger is that we now live by choices, not choices of the ego, but choices that are centered and come from our hearts. We not only know that we are free from small-minded attachments, but we are now free for choices which manifest from our heart centers, the best part of ourselves. Living by choices from the heart, not by needs of the ego, has these 2 clear results. The first one, and see if this applies to you, is that many of us are infusing our conscious spirit into our normal, everyday activities of life. We continue to be quite responsible in our relationships, in our work, and in society. But now, we seem to bring a bigger energy to them. We are raising up our normal, everyday activities to moments of conscious joy for ourselves and for all of the participants engaged at any particular moment. We are becoming more present and more attractive because of the bigger presence that we bring even to the small things of everyday life. People like us. They like to have us around because of the energy we bring. The second result of living by choice is that each one of us is becoming more creative in what we do. Whether it's trying a new song, or a new recipe, or perhaps becoming a yoga instructor. We are doing what we feel that we are truly called to do. We are more willing to take risks because we know that every prompting of the Spirit will be empowered by the Spirit within us to accomplish it. The Spirit will never hang us out to dry. The Spirit is always moving us to its greater expression. We are less concerned about what others might think we are doing, and we are simply being our best selves. We're playing better with a lot more confidence, a lot more trust, and a heck of a lot more joy. The second quality of a seeker who has found follows from the first one. The second quality is that there is the expansion of the self. When one begins to play bigger, they not only begin to know that they are a part of something bigger, but they also begin to feel bigger themselves. They are not only more understanding and more patient, but they're also more loving, we're kinder, more creative, and happier. Each one of us extends, is it not true, more and more of our goodness. This expansion of self also has 2 significant results. The first one is that living bigger inspires one to involve themselves with similar people, such as your Unity congregation. reading similar books and doing similar explorations. People like to read bigger books like the Tao Te Ching or the Bhagavad Gita or Emergence or Course in Miracles or the New Earth or Oneness. We like to spend time with bigger people in study groups and spiritual practices. As I think one of you said this morning, I think, Jack, that this is the one place where you come where you know that love is the energy. That's pretty neat, is it not? Pretty neat. What a compliment. And most of us, we learn to really do even those smaller things in that more blessed, uplifting way. We know that the quality of an event is not the event itself, but rather the meaning of the event is rather what the energy we bring to that event, and it is directly proportional to the quality of the presence that we infuse into the smallest of events. I was doing our fall retreat recently, and we were watching Barbara Marx Hubbard's video called Visions. Perhaps some of you saw it. And it really has kind of her cosmic vision of life. And it was quite interesting. The next day, one of our members came to me and said, you know, Vince, from that movie, what I really got from it is it's not so important to do big cosmic things, but rather to do little things cosmically. I suspect she got it. Events are bigger because the energy we bring is bigger, which then leads to the second result of soul expansion, that deep sense of joy. Bigger souls, like you and myself, we're really, in a sense, learning to experience that great joy deep within our hearts. And of course, as that song says, where? Deep down within our hearts. Bigger souls smile more, they help more, and they feel that deep inner abiding presence that simply fills them up and then radiates through them into the environment. They're not worried about where they are going or what they're going to do because they know how. They know how to listen to their own internal teacher. They know how to listen and to know that their inner guide is not only a compass of direction, but their inner guide is also their compass of joy. Now, life is truly the joy of the creative expression that it was always meant to be. The third quality of playing bigger is that life, and of course our lives, seem to be a little easier, less hectic, less of a struggle, more flowing, more integrated. We're still busy, but we seem to be busy with purpose, and especially we're busy with presence. That's what makes the difference. The two words that now seem to describe this state of living are the words effortless and natural. By effortless, I mean that we seem to be, in a sense, in charge of our lives. We are now choosing how to live as self-creative beings. Rather than being jerked around from the outside, we seem to be much more living from the inside out. Surely there are challenges and responsibilities to be met, such as the weather, perhaps maybe on a day like this. And surely there are the needs of everyday living, such as putting food on the table and making house repairs. The two things are quite apparent. The first one is that these external things are less bothersome. They're less worrisome. They're less anxiety-producing. We keep them in their proper place, and we feel less trapped by them. Responsible, yes. Trapped, no. And then secondly, we feel more empowered to do what we have to do. That we not only, in a sense, keep a proper perspective on these things, but rather, we also feel that each one of us is a responsible, intelligent soul who can handle things in life, because the bigger energy of life is always flowing through us. We are bigger than the everyday smaller responsibilities of life. The power within us is greater than any challenge we have to face. Which leads us to the word natural. Because we are playing bigger and have evolved to a higher sense of our self-power, we are beginning to feel that this bigger power within us, it's not something that we have, and it's certainly not something that we have to aspire to. Rather, the power is us. It is us. I know unity has always espoused that principle, but not every unity practitioner has accepted that yet. It seems like we're ready to do that. That I am what the divine is doing. What a difference to see the God Spirit as something that we now are. And it seems to me this becomes clear in two ways. The first one is that that presence feels right within us. We feel good being that energy. Isn't it a wonderful thing for someone to say, well, you know, I'm created in the image and likeness of God, and that feels so good. But the second thing is just as important. Secondly, we don't feel right when we drift away from that presence. The presence is becoming self-correcting. It pulls us back willingly, happily, whenever we seem to neglect it in a situation. It just isn't who I am when I show up as a self-centered ego, whining and complaining, wanting my way. Natural growth has taken over. We don't have to work so hard to become who we are. In fact, it's not just becoming our second nature, but first of all, it's the realization of our first nature. It's the realization of our truest self. The fourth quality that I would suggest in living bigger is that we are extending the energy. I believe that we have become conscious participants in the conscious creative flow of life. Not only do we understand that this evolutionary energy, this larger energy, is the evolutionary force of ourselves, our species, of our planet, and the universe. But just as concretely, we truly understand that we, you and I, bring this evolutionary force into play by inviting others to play bigger as well. Let me suggest we're doing this in 4 ways. The first one is not by trying to be pushy. We know that doesn't work. Didn't work with us, won't work with anyone else. But secondly, we realize that it is the power of the God Spirit in our presence that truly attracts others, because we understand and we see that they have the same presence within them. Our daily loving examples of playing bigger is the best invitation to another to come to know who they are and to play similarly. When you are genuine, when you radiate your truest self, you're just incredible. The third thing that I would suggest is when appropriate and when invited, we are able to clearly explain our ideas and practices of playing bigger. Of all of the things that I have seen in all of the groups that I lead, this to me is one of the most exhilarating. People feel comfortable. They feel very comfortable now to talk about what they know is true, to talk about perhaps books that they have read, because they know the value of that message for them, and they're very happy without trying to proselytize, to extend the very same to others. And fourthly, when appropriate, to extend an invitation to others to attend a meeting with them, to come to a unity worship, to come to a seminar or a discussion group. Many of us now are truly feeling much happier to extend the goodness that we have received to others. I believe that we know that what everyone is looking for is what unity expounds and universal spiritual teachers always have presented. You know and have what everyone wants. You know the old Hopi Indian saying, "We are the ones we've been waiting for." We're the ones that everyone has been waiting for. We're the ones that everyone has been waiting for. So my suggestion to you is the next time you see any flock of birds, whether they be swallows or not, may they be a reminder that we see things a little differently. We feel good about others, always being inclusive. We feel good about the planet, always raising its energy. We feel good about life. I think on your shirt, life is good at all times. You are life, consciously and joyfully expressing as you. What fun, what joy. And as you continue to play bigger, perhaps maybe for the first time, you'll say, honestly and truthfully, there is not only divine order in the universe, but there really is divine order in me. So with that in mind, let me now take you into a brief meditation. Let us begin the meditation by first of all setting the intention. This is an opportunity of growing our souls. Fully now commit yourself to these moments. Let us begin by first of all settling, using whatever method, perhaps focusing on your breath or repeating a mantra, using any method you know that relaxes your body-mind and bring your soul to the fore. Please do that now. Move now into your I am awareness. Move into that place of knowing within you that when you say the word I, your life force is a participation in the universal life force. feel yourself really big. Let us now proceed in the meditation. The reason why you can always play bigger is that the energy within you is an ever-expanding energy. Define yourself not by limitation, but by the unlimited draw of the universal life force. Be in its feeling. Allow it to be the you. And just know that you have an inexhaustible, invulnerable, incredibly loving energy as your true self. Come on now. Own up to it. Accept this. It's a big choice, and it's not an easy one to make, although it's easy to describe. You have the choice of seeing yourself as an aging ego or as an eternal, loving soul. It's time to get it straight, to be off the fence, and to be fully alive in your eternal soulness. Play bigger. So what is it? What's the first thing on your agenda? What is it that perhaps you've debated about? What is it that you have put off? Just what is it that is your next direction of playing bigger? You've heard the prompt. Have the trust that you'll be empowered. Perhaps these words are the sign you've been looking for. Return now to the rhythm of your breathing. And just when you're ready, maybe just to open your eyes, feel that presence within you, and to realize you're not doing this alone, that we're playing bigger with other marvelous souls. Perhaps the person sitting next to you, and certainly with all others in your unity congregation. Namaste.